Welcome to the Reinvent Your Life podcast, the show that talks about why we do what we do and how we can do it better.
Welcome to the Reinvent Your Life podcast. My name is Chaz Molesky, and today we're going to talk about the 3 stages of getting what you want. And yes, there are only 3 stages, believe it or not. So if we're talking about getting what you want in life, it's a very broad concept, right? Like it's the whole, change your life mentality, but it's like, okay, well, what am I changing to? What is that change? So for getting what you want, it's a very broad topic. Some people may want happiness, fulfillment. They don't care what they're doing. They don't care about the things that they have. They just want to be happy. That's what they're chasing. That's what they want. Some people want the things, right? So like, oh, I want $1 million house. Okay, cool. Well, there's a process for getting that too. But the process is always the same, and it always breaks down to these 3 stages. So no matter what you want, trust me, this framework works for all of it, okay? So no matter where you are in your journey, please listen to this with an open mind, because I think it's going to tie together some missing pieces that may be going on that may be preventing you from really truly having what it is that you exactly 100% want. So let's get right into it. The first stage of getting what you want, okay? Stage number 1 is awareness. Awareness basically says, I know what I want to change, and I believe that this end result or this outcome would bring me out of pain. So you are aware that there is a problem and there's something that needs to be addressed. And you're also aware that there is an option. There's another option, or there's something else that you can do outside of this thing. So now we're aware that we can fix a problem. We have something that's preventing us from getting what we want. And now we know that we want to change it, right? We've become aware at this stage. Now, the tricky part about awareness is that it tricks you. It kind of like gives you a false sense of accomplishment. And basically what it ends up saying is like, congratulations, you just figured out that there's something wrong, that you need to fix something, that you want to work on yourself. Great job. You came to this massive conclusion, and it makes us think that we actually did something. Just because we become aware of a problem or a challenge, we trick ourselves into thinking, because we have now become aware of it, that it's taken care of, right? Oh, well, yeah, that's a problem. Wow, okay, I'm gonna change it, or that's exactly what's been preventing me. So now it's time to move on. See, we think we over and over and over again when we're going through this process that when we finally get to the core root of, oh my gosh, that's the thing that's keeping me down. Well, when you get to that point, that's when it's like, well, congratulations. You've worked so hard to figure this out. You've accomplished it, right? You've done it. Great job. But it doesn't move you in any direction. It doesn't propel you forward. So then once you make it out of awareness, after you've become aware, the second stage of truly going after and getting what you want, the second stage is willingness. Now, the trick with willingness is that it moves you onto that edge of hesitation. So now you know that you want to change, and now you're willing to make that change. So that's basically saying, okay, I'm committing to this. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to change this thing. And now we're on the verge of hesitation, that moment before we can actually do something versus just thinking about it, right? It propels us towards that edge. Well, with willingness, there is a risk for loss. So if you really think about it, if you want to change anything in your life, something else has to go. It has to get replaced. And usually when people change and they grow, they leave things behind that have kept them at that previous life or that previous identity. So they have to move on from it and replace it with something else. So the same thing happens here with willingness, is that there is a risk for loss in changing. You're going to have to give up some of the things that you currently enjoy. So maybe that's some comfort. Maybe it's family time. Maybe it's friendships. Maybe it's just doing things or hobbies on the weekends, at least for a little bit, that you can no longer do because you're committing to something else, because you're thinking about moving on, moving forward. And this is very, very important. It's a very important stage to be at, because now you're consciously choosing to change your life, which is a very empowering place to be. So for willingness, there is a risk for loss, being on the verge of hesitation and actually making a change. And now all that ends up happening usually, and this is one of the sticking points, if you will, for willingness, and this is where a lot of people give up, is at making decisions in willingness. So we'll tend to make a decision like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to change this thing. So the decision I make is I'm going to go here. I'm going to take this action. I'm going to do this thing. If I'm investing money, I'm going to invest in these stocks. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. If I'm focusing on my family, I'm going to spend 3 hours a day with my wife and 2 hours with the kids and move on, do. So we get into this point, we're making all these decisions. And it tricks us into thinking that, once again, similar to awareness, that we actually did something. All we did was come up with some decisions. So, for example, if I decided, if you and I were going to go, we were going to go for a walk, right? And I decided that we were going to go for a walk. Hey, we're going to go for a walk tonight at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. 3 p.m. is not nighttime. I don't know what I was thinking. We're going to go on at 5 p.m. Okay. Well, did we do anything? No. All I did was decide that we were going to go take a walk at 5 p.m. So when you get caught in decision making, it tricks you into thinking that because you finally made this decision and the distinction, that it's done. And in reality, we haven't actually done the hard work or anything that accompanies it, which is stage 3. You have to take massive and consistent action. Very important distinction between the two. Massive action implies that you're going to take this big, grandiose act towards getting what you want. And the reason you can't take a small action is because small actions over time may build up into something, but there won't be enough progress for you to truly believe that you can make enough of a change if you only take small actions. You won't really be seeing it. It's kind of like when somebody loses weight. They don't see the weight loss week to week to week, but then when they look back and they look at a before and after picture, they see a big, massive difference. So you have to go for the massive action in the beginning because you want to see the results. You want to see the quick progress. You want to see what this can offer you so that it compels you to keep moving forward. Now, the second piece, consistent action, is equally important. Reason being is if you only take massive action one time, you're going to get results, but they're going to be very limited and they're going to expire. So you have to take these actions consistently so you continue making progress towards getting what you want and where you want to be. This is very important because so many people take big actions or they do things that are massively influential towards their growth, but ultimately they stop. They only do it once or twice and that's it. There's no consistency in their acts. It's those that are consistent with what they're doing that get continued progress and continued success. So it's very, very important to keep both massive and consistent in the same sentence when you're thinking of taking a type of action to get what you want. So understand these 3 stages, you can move through them at any point, and how long you stay in one stage is completely up to you. See, it's all dependent on what actions you take, what decisions you make, and what you actually become aware of. So you may be in a place right now where you think you want something, but in reality, you want something else. And I would recommend really spending some time and thinking about this, because if you don't, what you're going to find is you're just going to kind of chase after things you think you might want, when in reality, you haven't done the work to figure out exactly what it is. So you're going to spend twice the amount of time figuring out and achieving or getting to the end result that you're really looking for. So very important to spend some time on awareness and getting aware of what you really, really want. But I would not recommend staying there too long. And I definitely wouldn't recommend staying in willingness because you're not taking any action. So the goal is to move as quickly as you can from awareness to taking massive and consistent action without rushing the process, obviously, but also not spending too much time in an area that's not empowering you to make any progress moving forward. So, guys, that's the 3 stages of getting what you want. If you need more help with this, please reach out to me, chaz@riseabovelifecoaching.com. Share this podcast with those that you know can benefit from it or need just a little kick in the butt. That's why I'm here. Please like this. If you see it on social channels, give me a review. Please, I'm trying to spread this as much as I possibly can. So this is me coming to you for a favor. Help me out so I can help other people out. And as always, take this information, use it, implement it, and reinvent your life.
Thanks for listening to the Reinvent Your Life podcast. Now go out and apply what you just heard to start your reinvention. Please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with those that need it most.